On everybody, Wilson. What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, and thanks for tuning in again. I hope you guys are doing well and kicking ass, crushing things, taking names as we wind down for 2024. All right, let's start this one over again, okay? Because I just want to talk from like obviously it's great to be a spiritual hype man. I love being a spiritual hype man. I know we got to start this as what's going on, everybody. Wilson here, your spiritual hype man. So I hope that that's satisfied. But I just kind of want to get into it. This one, there's a couple things I want to talk about, but I think we'll just start with the intentions versus goals, right? So we have a shirt or a jacket that I got from the NCYD store, which is awesome, by the way. Shameless plug there. But the idea is actually someone said to me, it was at a retreat that I went to up in Idaho with Travis Chambers and the crew and those guys. And there was a private chef there. And the private chef had spoken to me, and she had mentioned this tagline. She's like, you know what, the way I look at things is don't set goals, set intentions. Now, again, remember, all of this is just perspective, right? And it's vocabulary words that mean something to us in a way that means something to us, that then we do something about it, or there's enough value behind it that it means enough that we start letting that influence us in the decisions that we make or how we move forward. And so that one stuck with me, and I was like, well, that's going on a shirt for sure. And that's exactly what happened. So and the concept, right, or the thought is goals are obviously great to have. And as the year winds down in 2023, we're, as the species or as society, right, we're always like, okay, hey, it's the end of the year. What's our next goal? What are we looking to get next year? How much more? How much more? Or what else? Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think, because obviously that's part of progress, is wanting to achieve is like your next level of the next thing. And so I feel like goals are important. Financial goals are important. Relationship goals are important. But I would say, or I would consider that intentions are equally as important. If not a little bit more value, because, or if not to add more value to the intentions, right? If you don't see intentions, or the vocabulary word intention doesn't come up within your thought process, perhaps I would encourage you to consider that, and encourage you to consider the intention of what you want to feel, the intention of who you want to be today, the intention of what you want the day to be like, right? Because sometimes we can be very reactive, or I know I can be in certain situations. And if I don't set myself up like with a good morning routine, at least considering these things, whether it's the breath work, whether it's the ice bath, whether it's taking a second to like ask myself, what is my intention? And don't get me wrong, it's not going to wake up and do it every day. And it's something that I'm looking forward to. That is a goal, right? So my intention is to have the intent to think about these things, and to have the intent about being more conscious of like, what is my intention? What do I intend to do today? How do I intend to feel today? Because I feel like the intention is more about the now, the present here, the sense of like, this is what I want to feel today. This is the person I want to be. These are the decisions I'm going to make based on the person that I intend to be, right? So if we don't have that, it's kind of like going into like a game, for anybody of you that played sports or some sort of organized sports. If not, it's similar to this, or a team meeting or anything like that, a sales team meeting or whatever the case is. Like if you don't have like a good pep talk, or a good consideration of these things moving forward in terms of the intention, what you want to accomplish, then sometimes you can just take on the day and then be very reactive to all these other things that are happening around us. And so that's where the goal versus intention thought, perspective is for me personally. And I hope, again, if intention isn't part of your vocabulary, it's something that you don't think about it on constantly, I encourage you to join me on my journey and your journey to get to a level where you do put it, you do make that part of your questioning of thyself or yourself in your morning routine, and then even at night, right? Reflecting back, what was my intention? Did I achieve my intention? What's my, what am I thinking for tomorrow? And then have that again. And again, you don't have to spend hours of meditation and hours of, if that's not where you want to be right now. I'll tell you something right now, though, like spending an hour or spending a couple hours, which I've done to myself, breathing, stretching, thinking, questioning. There's a level of freedom, or there's a level of liberation. There's a level of just amazingness where you just feel connected to thyself, the being, me. Who I think in my head is me, right? So I would encourage that, and again, I would encourage the thought of like, okay, what is my morning routine? Do I have a morning routine? Do I wake up and look at myself and say, you know what? You're the fucking person. You are the fucking person. Go get them. Let's go. Do you have that? Because if not, if you just wake up and the only thought is, okay, well, I know I got to go to work. I know I got to do this. I got to go get lunch. I got to get the kids. I got to, or I got to, get on my dating app. I got to find somebody, like whatever that is to you, right? Like, is there a moment for you to perspective, or not even perspective, like to have your pep talk, right? To have your morning time for yourself, to have that moment that you need to either self-reflect, have your intentions, like what is mine? Like today, my intention, all right, so my intention today is to make sure I do right by the people that have the trust in me to get some of their work, content, digital stuff done. And that's my intent. Like my intent is to do right by others today by focusing my time on what I need to accomplish for them because of the trust that they provided for me. My other intention for me in terms of how I feel is I want to feel accomplished. My intention is to not only get this podcast done, but to go and crush the work that I have to do and feel good about it, and not feel like I have to drag my ass to get things done. And then my other intention within my relationship today is my intention is to make Patty feel good. I'd like for Patty to really feel good today about everything that she's doing, everything that we're doing, and then figuring out a way to really like take time to give her that, right? Because most recently we just been, I've done the breath work, I do the ice bath, and then I'm like, okay, I got to go back to work, I got to get this, I got to get that, because we got a lot of things coming up. We got to blessed up with some projects, right? At the same time, by the time it's like 8, 9 o'clock, all of a sudden Patty is, she was waking up pretty early these last couple weeks. I'm not waking up as early, and so that time difference shows up at the end of the day. And so one of my intentions today is to make sure that we have enough time for me to show her, or for her to feel happy and loved and things like that. So those are a couple of my intentions today. I was thinking I did great breath work. If breath work is something that you're interested in and you haven't, I would highly, highly suggest just looking up Wim Hof. There's like an 11-minute, look up his Vice documentary. I've sent it to a couple people already. And it's just an amazing journey, an amazing thought. But again, all these things are perspective, and all these things result in some sort of positive something for the body, for the soul, for the mind. So I would encourage you, if you haven't started doing breath work and you want to, reach out to me, connect with us through the NCYD Instagram. Again, we're developing this thing. Please continue to listen, continue to share, because it's something that I can see in the future, right? The goal is to have a community where we can all get together, people start learning breathwork, people encourage each other to do well, hop in the ice bath. The intent is to help change the feeling of the person that isn't feeling right, or that isn't feeling good about themselves, or isn't feeling good about their situation. That's the intent. The intent is to help those people, whoever they are, wherever they are, in whatever situation they are. And that's what NCYD is. So again, homies, that's the thought. If you haven't, another thing that we've talked about is the journaling, and it's something that I keep hearing back. So I've looked up Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius, and those homies, and everything that I've read so far and I've digested seems to be very aligned with NCYD, very aligned with the concepts of NCYD, self-reflection, taking time for yourself, not getting down. But there's some things that I would encourage you to maybe consider, looking up Stoicism on YouTube. Some of the things, and in the morning when I wake up, some of those are the things that I listen to and I get pumped up to share or discuss, or again, my intention. And this was one of them. It was intention versus goals. But again, not the first time I heard it, right? It's been in my path several times that I've heard it, and hence the shirt, which I should put the shirt on right now. Where is the shirt? Here it is. Boom. And this is where it came from. It came from don't set goals, set intentions. But again, I don't want to say don't. So I think we may have to revise that. And that's just being honest, thinking about it. Set goals, set intentions, maybe. Set goals and set intentions. Maybe that's the next version. But I would definitely get the 001 version because it's the OG and you probably won't see it again. Another shameless plug. All right, homies, I'm going to let you guys go and crush today. Keep crushing it. I enjoy being on here. I enjoy listening. I enjoy also getting positive feedback. Please continue to share. Please continue to listen. I encourage you to just get a good morning routine. And again, it's not going to be the same thing. Maybe it is the same thing for somebody. Maybe it's not. But start thinking, putting value, and encouraging yourself to do some of these early morning or morning routines and nighttime routines so you can get to this level of, consciousness, awareness for yourself. If you're seeking that, right? If you're seeking it, for sure, definitely a good way to go. I wish you the best coming up in this year. I don't think this is going to be our last podcast. We will be traveling soon. We're going to go back and see my family up in the NJ region. And then from there, we will be back 2024 to hit it and crush it hard. So keep crushing it, keep going, and I encourage you to have a wonderful day. And just remember, it's just thoughts in our head. If anything else, just change them. Think of something else, or go and do something physical and become the Jedi Mind Master we know you can be. I'll see you guys again soon on the next one. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. Boom.